Support for this show, Politics Done Right, comes from politicsdoneright.com, publishers of How to Make America Utopia, Take Away the Economy from Those Who Rigged It, As I See It, Class Warfare, The Only Resort to Right-Wing Doom, It's Worth It, How to Talk to Your Right-Wing Relatives, Friends, and Neighbors, and other books written by Egberto, Willies.
Welcome to Politics Done Right. My name is Egberto, Willies, your host. Good morning, Houston. Good morning, Harris County. Good morning to the great state of Texas. Good morning to the entire United States. Good morning to the rest of the world, receiving our signals via the magic of El Internet, formerly known as the ARPANET, created by whom again? We the people. We the people, now controlled by the billionaires. Folks, we're going to have a great show for you today. Hey, look, this is the last Monday of the fund drive. Aren't you glad about that? Let's kind of blow it out. We need over $500, but we've got a great show, so don't leave. I know you're tired of us saying, hey, we need to get this stuff in for the station. You know, hey, I had a great weekend, guys. You know, I got a call, and the call said, hey, Berto, I'm in town. I'm here with your sister for a conference. And I'm like, are you serious? No, I mean, that's not real. That's not real, because I love this man. And I got a visit from my brother-in-law. How you doing this morning, Arturo?
Good morning, everybody. This is Arturo Jacobo. Greetings from Southern California.
Hey, and you know, so that you're going to see coming up on the screen that we even have folks getting up in the mornings at 4 to listen to Politics Done Right. Hey, should I pick a bone with my own brother-in-law that doesn't get up at 4 in the mornings to listen to Politics Done Right when he's in California?
Gotta do better. I gotta do better.
Man, I tell you.
But we are interested in politics, just the way you guys are here.
All right. Anyway, folks, we're going to have a great show for you today. And let me tell you, let me throw it to the studio. Then we go to Sandy. You know, I know Sandy is going to make you real happy this morning. Buenos dias, El Estudio. How you guys doing this morning? Howard Reynolds, El Engineer Extraordinaire, and Jacques Van Beber, El Buen Asistente.
Rigger extraordinaire. I just rig things to work, and sometimes I'm lucky and sometimes I'm not. Ask Sandy.
Yeah.
It is Monday
sometimes we forget.
Yeah, it is Monday morning at the radio, the 3rd of November, 2025. We have made it this far. And Jack, you got a whole page of wisdom over there.
Yeah, I'm going to read your headlines first. Okay.
All right.
Today's show cuts to the core of America's most urgent crises and contradictions, from a healthcare system that profits from sickness to a media environment that shields power with bias. We explore how structural greed and misinformation erode democracy. Congressman Joe Neguse exposes media snap distortions. At the same time, we confront the moral rot of the for-profit care and reflect on why engaging beyond our ideological comfort zones is essential for survival. Progressives can just preach to the choir. We must confront, persuade, and build moral majority rooted in justice and empathy. Right on, Egberto.
Brother.
And it got me going.
Yes, it did.
Yeah, I know got your blood going, Jack.
Yeah,
I know your blood was going.
Don't get me started on for-profit healthcare systems and its abuses. First, there is an audio tape of Richard Nixon conspiring with an executive from Kaiser Health Group that started HMOs. The executive was explaining how treatment by doing a lot of testing delivered very little care, but was very lucrative in what it could charge for the testing. Nixon's reply was, "Oh, I like that." So people, you've been conspired against for over 55 years now for your health care needs. My other observation is about sugar intake. High sugar intake over time creates lots of healthcare issues: diabetes, renal failure, pancreatitis. If you wonder about addiction to substances, look to your childhood and all the candy children are fed and eat. Unknowingly, some parents manipulate their children's moods with candy. Addiction to sugar is the first addiction we learn as children. From the childhood, it's called the childhood addiction, setting us up for other addictions like alcohol, drugs, consumption, sex. anything we do to access that changes our moods from what we are feeling distracts us from confronting what we are feeling and the knowledge we gain from what we feel. This is the classic setup for addiction, and Halloween just seems to be a childhood orgy of sugar. So, maybe we're being a little manipulated by this holiday is what I'm saying.
Well, what about my addiction to electronics?
Well, does it change your mood?
Sometimes.
Well,
depends on what's on the screen.
Don't you see how Howard is when he's messing with electronics, man? That's an addiction for him. But you know what? That is a good addiction. But before we jump to Sandy, I just want to say, Lynette, welcome. And by the way, let's see, Cheryl, that was great. I don't think she minds me saying this. Cheryl has a great political group of folks that when you hear the discussion that they carry on, you just hope that the rest of America are starting to do things like that. We always talk about taking the bull by the horns. Is that it? Yeah, taking the bull by the horns and getting involved. And just watching that group and how these were people involved, it just kind of warmed the spirit. Cheryl is Cheryl, Jane V. Welcome, Jane V. out here. These are people that are participating, not only participating, but they are actually doing in society. Lisa Blair from Atlanta, Georgia. Welcome aboard. Harry Denson from Missouri City, Texas. Joe from Los Angeles, California. Joe, I was just telling my brother-in-law here, Arturo, that if you can wake up, maybe we should kind of tell Arturo, you got to wake up, dude.
I will try. Maybe once a month.
All right. Okay.
I will listen afterwards.
And then we're going to call you out. Anyway, good morning, Sandy. What have you got for us, El Señor General Manager?
Good morning, Arturo and Egberto, all the folks in the studio and all those folks listening online and through the terrestrial FM signal that we broadcast at 100,000 watts. This is the final Monday of Fund Drive. We're scheduled to go to Sunday, but there's a possibility if everybody steps up today, we have a really good day. We're going to draw our sustainer rollovers sometime this afternoon. There's a possibility, slim might it be, that we could finish this drive today. We stand at $142,192 from 889 distinct acts of kindness. We predict that we'll have about 1,000 total when we pull the rollover sustainers that will add to that 889 number and also the monetary total. And I would disagree with Jack that the first addiction isn't sugar, or it shouldn't be. It really, we as parents, we have an obligation to our children to get them hooked on Mad Magazine and give them proper perspective while in their formative years. Folks, we are in Fund Drive. This is community radio. We do survive on our listener donations, and I want to thank the 889 distinct acts of kindness. Some of you have made multiple contributions. Some of you have made one, and some of you just have a sustainer and will be counted toward this drive as a result. Thank you to everybody. We did not do the August Fund Drive because of our sustainers, because we are carried in part month to month, whether we're in drive or not, by sustaining dollars. I would encourage everyone that's going to make a donation today to join as a sustainer. Not only does it power KPFT through times when we wouldn't otherwise be receiving funds but need the funds, it also eliminates fund drive days. The goal, the dream, if you will, is to have an annual subscription to Mad Magazine forevermore and have enough sustaining dollars that we cut fund drive down to 2 weeks, twice a year, done and done, over and out, and just keep the KPFT programming coming to you, which is becoming, in the case of our morning programming, especially more and more essential for us all to share in as we fight back and maintain free speech on the airwaves and a freer democracy, working toward that more perfect union. 713-526-5738, option 1, or kpft.org. The other thing that I would talk about in terms of addiction, especially at this hour, is coffee. And for $120 or $10 a month, sustaining donation, you are in line for a bag of Caroline Street roasted coffee beans and a Caroline Street mug from which to drink the brewed coffee from. Or if you're not into the coffee, then you can choose a gift card from one of 3 eateries that have donated $25 gift cards toward, we'll just say either pizza or barbecue. 3 different eateries. You pick the one that you would like to get, and that will be mailed to you for your $10 a month sustaining pledge. Make it happen. We're looking for that first donation this morning. We're going to maintain that $500 goal, and we hope to do a whole lot better. As Egberto said, final Monday, final stretch run of our fall 2025 fund drive, and we'll get it rolling. Egberto, thanks to you.
Thank you, Sandy. Hey, let's do this. Let's do this, folks. Sandy says 500, but Sandy also wants it to be the last day. Let's make it 1,000. I know if we get 10 people or 9 people or so doing that sustainer, we can really, really do it. 713-526-5738, extension numero 1. And we can, or go to kpft.org, kpft.org, hit that donate button. When the stuff scrolls up, select the choice of your gift. And don't forget, scroll down to or from that drop box, put politics and right to make sure it is appropriately accounted for, so that when Sandy is saying, all right, we're going to cut this program because people don't really want it, that we hold on to Politics Done Right on air, KPFT 90.1 FM on Pacifica. That's 713-526-5738 or kpft.org. Uri Deemer out of Deer Park, Texas. Thank you for being here. We have our first donation of the day. Thank you so kindly. Jason and Ginger, thank you so kindly for your support. We really couldn't do it without you. Please join Jason and Jason G and Ginger B on becoming members here. They're new members. Thank you so kindly for coming on. Look, folks, I have to start with a blog that I wrote this weekend, because this is important, and you guys know that we all have our strong beliefs. We believe in our values, etc. It is a must. But here is the thing: we also have to engage, and by engage, I mean we have to talk to the other side and find a way. So the piece that I wrote was called "Beyond the Choir." Let's stop doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different results. I didn't define that. Somebody else defined that as insanity, but I think it's apropos. Anyhow, it is said that the insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. In this regard, being in a constant state of polarization is insanity. I put myself in a position to engage people of opposing ideology virtually every day. In fact, yesterday I was with a group that I don't necessarily align with, in a lot of things. I align with in their social aspects, in their economic aspects, but there are other things I don't. But I went there, I engaged, we had a great conversation. That's what we got to do. It used to be very stressful internally, but over time, it has created a skin thickening that has allowed me to give an inordinate grace and compassion to listen to the other side, whether it is talking to MAGA conservatives, evangelicals, white nationals, and permutations of any of them, or challenging them always after listening first. And notice what I said, listening first. To be clear, I am not asking that every progressive attempt to meet MAGA where they are. In fact, I'm not even placing judgment on those who refuse. Why? Because it would not be fair. That said, some of us must do so, lest we will never recover from the path of decline we're on. That is, allowing the puppeteering of President Trump into autocracy. Engaging the other side is fraught with disappointment. Even after appealing to common humanity and seemingly changing their minds and hearts, recidivism rates remain very, very high. Human nature tends to revert to its original form unless a traumatic trigger has caused the change. And that is where we are now. And if we must make lemonade, or rather, we must make lemonade out of these lemons. Trump and his cabal are literally selling out the country. In doing so, the results of their policies will affect every American. More importantly, it will affect MAGA and red states much more than it will affect the rest of the country. Again, remember that. All these bad things that are going to happen, that have started to happen on November 1st, when people see their insurance bill, it's going to hurt MAGA a lot more. It will be traumatic as they get an outcome MAGA thought, would be solely relegated to those undesirable liberals. And that is the crack that those of us who are willing to take the flak as we build a sufficient level of trust to engage must break through. Again, this is the opportunity. This is that trauma that I'm talking about. People make changes and they no longer revert to form if you can catch the trauma. There is the trauma now. Above and beyond doing this work, since my days as a board member of the now defunct Coffee Party USA, a transpartisan organization, I work with those who are also interested in doing this type of engagement. I even try to blend the techniques in my active journalism. And notice I call activist journalism because that's what we do here. We don't follow that little simple journalism of the past that says he said, she said, without actually taking factual, fact-based opinion and actions. We take action. And in talking to the right, even on the radio and other media shows that we do. While many castigate me, Egberto, we need to expend the energy on getting our own to vote. They say, but you know what? I disagree. We must do both. The sad reality is that sometimes it is easier to flip a person who has a propensity to vote than to count on those who generally do not vote. I want to pause there and kind of qualify that. People who have that voting nerve, that voting touch, they're used to voting. They're always going to go out there and vote no matter what. What you have, those are the people you know you can count on. If you can flip a few of those folk, you know that's a vote coming. There are folks who never vote. They don't have that voting in their thing. And we fight hard and we expend a lot of energy to get them to vote. And yeah, they may vote here and there, but not consistently. The rain may come, it may drizzle. They'll find any excuse not to vote. That's just how some folks are wired, even as they feel the pain, because people have been feeling the pain, but they still don't vote. So if you work on the voting population as well, yes, try to convert a non-voter into a voter. But those people who have a propensity to vote, they will continue voting. They are vulnerable now. They are Look, when you are going to go from being insured all your life to not be able to be insured now because it's going to cost you $1,000, $2,000 more a month, that's a traumatic thing. We have to let people understand what's causing that trauma. That trauma is caused by, yes, their previous vote. We're not going to say it that way, but that trauma is caused by the current instantiation of our politics, and it's something we can do about it. And again, the pain Trump is inflicting on voting MAGA has opened cracks to give us entry if we choose to go in. And you know what, baby? We're going in. I saw a group yesterday that I spoke to. They're going in. They are on the ground. We all need to be on the ground. Remember King's Day? I could not have been more impressed. Our Kingwood folk, just a drop in the bucket, brought out 10 times the amount of folks we have ever gathered here for a protest. That's what I'm talking about. I choose to visit their space, engaging respectfully and civilly without compromising my progressive values, as I lay out a clear path from them to realize that the policies we support are more in line with their wants and needs than the polarized vision they have. This action is not mutually exclusive. from informing and activating our own base. It is real, folks. A caller on my KPFT 90.1 FM show, this show, asked the prescient question: why should we have compassion for all these people who voted for Trump or stayed home, given that Trump is doing everything he said he would? Rather than blame them, I pointed out a reality that I have accepted for myself. We had not informed convincingly or made the case. Instead of blaming, which I also do periodically in my weaker moments, we must continue to try tactics that meet them where they are and reach them. You hear what I'm saying, folks? Reach them. We will be unsuccessful with the immutable, but there are enough who can become rational when removed from their echo-chambered bubble. I want to give a big thank you to Robin, an existing customer, just decided to give another little piece of action. Thank you so kindly for that, folks. 713-526-5738, extension number 1, or go to kpft.org. Welcome aboard, Glenn. Glenn went ahead this time again. Glenn bought this year a second coffee with Egberto, and he also invited one of our conservative members to come and join us whenever he gets ready to go out pretty soon. So we think about doing that, folks. Coffee with Egberto, that's a $250 contribution. I'll drive any part of Harris County or in the surrounding areas, and we'll sit down, have coffee, have a good chat. Hey, we'll even talk about how can I talk to my right-wing brother and sister. We can do that. Anyway, folks, 713-526-5738. We're going to talk a little bit about healthcare in a minute, but let me tell you something, guys. I am an immigrant, as all of you know, from Panama. My sister's an immigrant from Panama, and my sister's husband, Arturo Jacobo, an immigrant from Mexico. Love this guy. He's come over here, done a lot. He worked for Caltrans as one of their engineers, actually lead engineers, actually manager, who built a part of, was it Interstate 5?
Interstate 5.
Interstate 5 in San Diego. An immigrant, big part of supporting this country. I want you to have a few words to say, Arturo, because, we talk a lot about immigration and the immigrant and what's happening. And a lot of people don't understand it is real. Here we are in this great country and having the issues that we have today. You had some thoughts.
Yeah, as a son of immigrant parents who worked in the field, I worked in the field 45 years ago throughout high school. And even when I went to college, my first couple of summers, I went back. And there were a lot of legal people and a lot of undocumented people. And so what I saw back then, I saw a lot of raids by ICE, which we call in Spanish, La Migra. And I saw them chasing people who had come to this country, left their culture, left their families, and they're here working, providing the food that we serve in our table. Thanksgiving is coming up, and I can guarantee you the food, when we do our blessing at the table, it was done by people at the bottom. So for me, it's very sad to see that back then when I saw La Migra ICE chasing people, beating people, kicking people, I didn't think I will ever see that again in the United States. So for me personally, it is sad to see how these people who have come here for the sole purpose of providing to their family, to see how low we have come as a humanity in this great country of the United States, which is still a great country, and that's why so many people still want to come here. We got to do everything that we can. We have to participate, and we just have to keep on getting the word out that this is not how we are. This is not how we should be as a country. If we truly are to have better days ahead of us, better years ahead of us, I think it's going to take all of us from all spectrums of society to participate, to donate, to get engaged, to participate, to send letters, and so on and so on. But, from my perspective, I see a country, I see so much hate towards those people that we need. These are the people that are cleaning our offices, that are cleaning our toilets, that are serving the food in the back and the restaurants, and that are getting the food for us at our table. So get engaged. I think it's wonderful. And for all those listeners in the great state of California, remember, yes, on Proposition 50, that's the redistricting proposition that is hoping to provide the additional seats in Congress that we are going to be losing here in Texas.
Muchas gracias, hermano. Muchas gracias, hermano. Anyway, let me tell you something, guys. So again, this is real, and people have lived lives in this country, making differences in this country. And for a charlatan like the current president of the United States to come along and try to do the things that he's doing and harangue the people that he's haranguing, it is a shame. Folks, that is one of the reasons many of us have dedicated our lives to make a change, dedicated our lives to make a change. Because again, a positive change, I should add to that, a positive change. Anyway, folks, the telephone number is 713-526-5738. Again, that number is 713-526-5738, extension number 1 to donate. Please also consider going to kpft.org, kpft.org, hit that donate button, and select whatever you want. And as well, make sure to scroll down for the program you're supporting is Politics Done Right. Here's the deal. You can get a Politics Done Right t-shirt, $100 contribution, right? It's worth it. You can go ahead and have coffee with Egberto, $250 contribution. I'll drive around Houston area and its neighboring counties if necessary, so that we can sit back and have some coffee and some good chat. I just went out, when was it? A few weeks ago, and with a young lady who works for NOAA. And she is in, she's out right now. But we had a great conversation about this, and what her big thing is, while I'm off, what can I do to get engaged? And what we did was set her up with some activists here in the Houston area to get engaged. This is the time we all have to come together and engage. And if you can't engage physically, but you can monetarily, again, they have all the money in the world. We are looking for a few pennies because we do the real thing on the cheap. I am here at KPFT. Everything that you donate goes all to KPFT, not a penny to Egberto, not a penny. This is to keep this station up. So I ask kindly again to please consider giving $10 a month, $5 a month, a coffee a month. I used to say $5 a month was a coffee a month. Sandy's like, Egberto, I don't know where you've been getting your coffee. $10 a month. I know many of you can do that. We need to raise 500. I'd like to raise 1,000. We can do that. Sandy may just cut the strings today that we are back to regular programming tomorrow. I would love to see that. 713-526-5738, extension 1. We still only have 2 kind contributions, one from Robin W. and the other from Jason and Ginger. Thank you guys so kindly. Let me bring Jimmy into the conversation and then we'll continue with the program. Brother Jimmy, one of our great supporters, a former teacher. You guys know I love me teachers. And former person that worked with Phil Donahue on one of his shows. Come on in, Jimmy.
Good morning, Egberto. I hope you had a good Halloween. I wore my Superman T-shirt.
All right.
Told the people coming by that I was the real Superman. The other ones were fake. Anyway, I asked little children mathematics questions since I was a retired math teacher. I asked this little girl, how much is 5 plus 3? Her answer was 5 plus 1 is 6, 5 plus 2 is 7, and 5 plus 3 is 8. That was her answer. So she's learning. And then somebody else texted me, can Superman fly? I had to think of a good answer, and I came up with, yes, he can fly, but only on United Airlines.
Oh, no.
Anyway, there were some good interviews with Gavin Newsom over the weekend. Since your brother's from California, I'd like to hear what he thinks about Gavin Newsom, because I think Newsom will probably be the best Democratic candidate running in the next national election.
Well,
I also urge everybody in Texas to vote tomorrow if they haven't already voted. and look in the Houston Chronicle. They'll have endorsements. They interview the candidates. They know their backgrounds, and so they make good choices.
Okay, let me ask Arturo. What do you think about Gavin Newsom, Arturo?
The governor is very popular in California. I mean, California, by and large, is a Democratic state, but there are very high pockets of Republican in the Orange County and in the Central Valley. But he's very popular. We're hoping that he will make a run for the presidency for 2028. I think he has a great chance. I know he will have the backing of at least California and a lot of the blue states, but he's done well for California. I mean, he talks the talk, he walks the talk. He's trying to do stuff for the homeless, trying to do stuff for the undocumented people, and so we're hoping. He has a lot of great ideas. He's had a tough years with the fires, in this year in California with the fires and so many homeless unhoused people that we have in California. And so we're hoping he'll do great things. And yeah, I mean, he will have my vote right now if he was to run for president.
Muchísimas gracias, hermano. Hey, Jimmy, thank you so kindly for your call, and you keep up doing your good works. You're one of my guys. You have a good one, brother. All right.
Well, thank you. Keep up the good work on the show.
Thank you, brother. Let's go. Let's see. I want to give a big thank you to Richard O. out of Houston, Texas. And by the way, Robin W. was out of Indianapolis, Indiana. I love when we see those other states contributions as well. Thank you so kindly. I should have called that out right away. And Jason and Ginger are out of Tomball. Thank you so kindly, guys. Thank you so kindly. Gail Kunis, Lynette, John A. John is from St. Louis. No, Gayla is originally from St. Louis. John out of Covington, Georgia, while Gayla is now Evans, Georgia. Anyway, folks, we're going to continue with this show. I want to talk a little bit about healthcare, but beforehand, I think I better bring Sandy in to do a little pitch. Folks, remember, while Sandy is talking, I know you like Sandy's voice too, right? But at that time when he's talking, you can call in 713-526-5738, hit extension 1 and donate, or go to kpft.org and select whatever gift you want. I think $5 a month, $10 a month. You won't even feel that out of your checkbook. I mean, I give $10 a month to KPFT as well as volunteer. And here, remember, I get no pay at all from KPFT, but we have a lot of work to do. And this gives us the avenue to do that work. Our caller, Betty, is on. How you doing, my beautiful Betty? I know you have it all written down. Come on in.
Yeah, it's good morning, Alberto. Insurance is important. We all have to eat. Insurance with what we have now, pay or eat beans. Medicaid and SNAP falls in that line. We have to have both. And Jack, eat and drink right. He's right. Your body will let you know. Your brain is fickle. Give 90.1, Alberto. Put some long green on the table, Mabel. Love y'all.
Love you, Betty. Love you, Betty. Anyway, folks, I want to talk a little bit. Actually, you know what I want to do? I want to play an ad that I hear on TV that drives me crazy, but I'm going to do it. And by the way, for those folks that ran this ad, it's not a commercial for you, because I want you guys to listen in, and then we'll take it on the other side.
Hi, my name is Damian Clark. And if you have both Medicare and Medicaid, I have some really encouraging news that you'll definitely want to hear. Depending on the plans available in your area, you may be eligible to get extra benefits with the Humana Medicare Advantage Dual Eligible Special Needs Plan. These plans have a $0 monthly plan premium. Most plans include the Humana Healthy Options Allowance. Get over $1,000 a year. That's $85 a month to help pay for covered over-the-counter items like vitamins, pain relievers, first aid supplies, and more. The Healthy Options.
All right, I'm not playing the entire ad, but that sounds beautiful. You sign up with Medicare Advantage, you don't pay a premium, you don't pay co-pays, and we give you $1,000 to spend. Dang, you sign up for something and you are going to get money for signing up. That's an ad that should be illegal. That's a plan that should be illegal, but it's not. But it's a scam on you. Between now and December 8th, many of you have to choose between Medicare Advantage and Medicare. I can't give you advice officially, but as people who trust what we do, I can tell you that what you are seeing there, first of all, let me first qualify this. And I say this for those who this is repetitious for, forgive me, but we are here to do a public service. We're here to protect people. There are times that monetarily things are tough, things are rough. And the truth of the matter is the Medicare Advantage, because they have that zero copay, it never turns out that way in the long run, because they have where they don't require a premium at all. Actually, remember, the premium is being paid by us. Medicare is given those private insurance companies several $1,000s, over 10,000. I don't remember how many $1,000 for each person signed up. There are times that you can't afford anything else and you go there and you're at the whim of then Medicare Advantage. And I want you to remember, no corporation, whether benevolent or otherwise, no corporations are in there for a good cause, or I shouldn't say that. That's not true. No corporation is in there to give away anything. They're there to make money. And I have no problem with any company who is there to make money. We simply shouldn't be making money on the lives of others. That's criminal. That's immoral. And that is what, when we turned over and created Medicare Advantage, that's what we did. There are people who have good experiences with Medicare Advantage temporarily. But when they really need it, it's not there. And they run into issues with not having, what's the word that I want to use? Not being able to use the product. I played one on my 3 o'clock show that I'm sorry I didn't queue up, to point out that now all the major cancer centers are now not taking Medicare Advantage, from Kettering to Memorial to others, not taking Medicare Advantage. So here we have a for-profit system taking over more than 50% of Medicare from the government. The government, you can still go to Kettering. If you have Medicare from the government, you can still go to Cato. You can still go to the one in Minneapolis. You can still go to Memorial here in Houston. You can still go to places that really know how to handle certain difficult cancers. But if you are on Medicare Advantage, you have been relegated to being a second-class citizen who, if you're lucky, you're okay. But if you're not, well, you die. That's not hyperbole. It is not hyperbole, my brothers and sisters. It is not hyperbole. So here is what I consider would be my marching orders for what I would do. And notice I'm saying this in that respect because I have to be careful in the way I say things on air. My 3 o'clock show, I can say whatever the hell I want to say. Now, here is the thing. If you can afford Medigap, which is what covers the 20% Medicare, traditional Medicare doesn't, may cost you a little bit of money, maybe a couple $100 if you can wing it. If you can wing it, your health, your life is that important for your sanity and for understanding that later on, if you need real care, you will get it. if and only if going forward, and I'm talking about going forward, for those who are on the plans already, hey, look, I'm with you. We are fighting to get this thing right. That's the fight we're in, to get this thing right. But those who can afford it, please don't let traditional Medicare die by getting everybody on Medicare Advantage, which will give the bot politicians that we need to get rid of an impetus to say, oh, there are so many people on Medicare Advantage, let's just make it the plan of the system. We can't allow that. And that is on us. I want to read a little piece from an article titled, For-Profit Healthcare Makes Us Sick. And I just want to read some highlights that I did in the article. It says, companies are maximizing their profits by simply not paying care. By demanding pre-authorizations for a dizzying number of procedures, then routinely denying approval, insurers can save billions at the expense of the policyholders. High percentages of initial denials are overturned on appeal, showing that no is simply the initial default position. That is to weed those out who are not willing to fight, taken in the hopes that patients and doctors won't push the issue. Claim denials often result in medical debt and can also disrupt treatment of chronic medical conditions, delay or deny access to life-saving cure, and lead to avoidable complications or even death. Remember that piece when that politician went on stage and said the Republican healthcare plan is get insurance. If you can't get insurance, die quickly. That's what it's all about. Die quickly. Claim denials affect the health and well-being of people every day. They are people like little John Cupp, who began feeling, listen to this story. This story makes you cry. Little John Cupp, who began feeling short of breath and experienced swelling in his feet and ankle. His doctor recommended a catheter exam to determine whether the arteries in his heart were blocked. However, the medical benefits manager company Evicure, owned by Cigna, twice denied the catheter exam while eventually approving a much lower cost stress test. The delay in diagnosis proved catastrophic. Less than 2 days after Mr. Cupp received the stress test, he died of cardiac arrest. So you see, these things are subtle, right? It's not immediate. Subtle. You can find yourself getting treatment at a facility, saving money for shareholders by reducing staff and failing to maintain safe and hygienic conditions. NBC News aired a 6-part series investigating hospital operator HCA Holden that uncovered, in the words of a report, roaches in the operating room, leaking ceilings, essentially unmonitored vital signs, overworked nurses, overcrowded emergency rooms, closed departments, and other threats to patient health and safety. This stuff is real. It is real, folks. Please, again, remember this up until October, December 8th, I think it is. You have the choice. Don't let them fool you into taking Medicare Advantage. Open your eyes, please. Listen, please. You are listening to a program that does the research for you. Listen, please. Anyhow, folks, we are still at those 3 contributions only. Sandy is still pushing for 500. I'm still pushing for 1,000. Please make our day. You can do it. I know there are many of you who probably have never given, haven't given in a while. Please consider doing it now. We're $350 or so away from the $500. I know we can do it in the next 10 minutes or so. 713-526-5738, extension number 1. Again, that is 713-526-5738, extension number 1. Or go to kpft.org, hit that donate button. If you want to do the Coffee with Egberto on the website, just in the search, when you're searching for what you're getting, just go ahead and search for Egberto, Egberto. And it will come up, the Coffee with Egberto or some name like that. And you can select that. That's a $250 contribution for those who want to do it. I'll drive out on my gas, on my dime, to meet you and we can have that chat that you may want to have. 713-526-5738 extension number 1. Likewise, folks, go to kpft.org. I want to talk a little bit about giving here and where we put our monies. Many of us have cable. We see YouTube TV and Disney are fighting right now because they're seeing how much money Disney's going to have to pay YouTube or YouTube's going to have to pay Disney to carry its channel. They can't come to agreement, but we're talking billions of dollars, right? Many of you go ahead and you subscribe to your cable channel, $100 a month, $200 a month, and all these different kinds of things that we subscribe to, whether it be Netflix or all these. We don't have a problem giving money there because, these are the corporate systems that's working on us. I want to ask you or tell you, first of all, many of these, when you subscribe to cable, much of what you're doing is an indoctrination engine, getting you to think a certain way, believe a certain way, buy a product through indoctrination, etc. We're asking you for $5 or $10 a month to feed the mind, to make it more expansive, to be able to help making more decisions. Not only that, as well, on this program, I always tell people I have the smartest listeners, bar none, because we also learn together. Many times you call, Egberto, did you know that? I didn't know that. But tomorrow I will, because I'll go do some research on something that's skewed value. You've even heard Brother Jack and Howard come in and they do their talking and they say, oh, wow, we need to change the subject. We need to talk about that. That's what we do here. And asking for a little support from a percentage of our listeners, I think is doubly apropos, right? It is something that's necessary, not just for you, the listener, but even for some of the big donors that I see in the chat right now. What they have done is they have ensured that they're playing a part in making a necessary change in our country. Really think about it. There's some of you that's in the chat right now that have given a bunch to this station. I mean, a bunch. Some of the callers that have just called, given a bunch to the station, and they're still here every day, listening as well, but also being a part. So folks, please join those people as well. Please join them and help us get this message across. Help us be an enlightening force. Help us make the change that needs to be made. You think about it again. You ask yourself, why is the right so successful? The right is successful even as they have policies that nobody likes or very few like, because they have the support of their uninformed, indoctrinated base. Our base is informed, but we need the support. We need that extra $5 that you would have spent, let's say, on Starbucks for that extra thing. And even if you can say, well, you know what, let me do it at a nonprofit like KPFT that's doing a positive. Let me do that. Think about that. There are many of you right now that are listening that want to give, and I'll do some of the time. Please let that be now. Let us end the fund drive today. Let's end the fund drive today. If we get all our programming from this show to Conversations to Amy Goodman to all of them doing a little bit above and beyond, we can end the fund drive today. Before the station break, let me go to Sandy. Please give us a call while Sandy's on. Please go to the website, kpft.org. While Sandy's on, we can actually do this. Sandy.
713-526-5738, option 1, or kpft.org. My name is Sandy. I've been the general manager of this station since August 1st, and interim 3 years prior to that. And it's been my honor to serve in this position. And I'm hopeful that when I'm done with this contract, we can pass this station along in really good condition and thriving and having it continue for at least another 55 years. It's up to you, folks. Not up to us and behind the mic. It's up to you. 713-526-5738. Egberto, back to you, and thank you for what you do. And Arturo, do you think your brother-in-law is nuts?
Well, he's certainly very smart, and I know he's passionate about what he does for a living.
Thank you, my brother. Thank you. Anyway, folks, we only have about 3.5 minutes left. Please do that donation now, kpft.org. Remember, even as soon as I get off this program, if you were just waiting for the program to end to donate, please go to kpft.org and remember to select, when you're the scroll down box, select Politics Done Right that as a program you're supporting. So that is kpft.org. Hit the donate button, select our program as the one you're supporting. Let's get 30 seconds for Doug. I don't like to leave anybody hanging. Doug, give me your word in 30 seconds.
Sure.
Go ahead, Doug.
Okay, here's my comment on the affordable ACA. Was you had you recommend not do to not do the
I'll tell you what, right now, call us back tomorrow. Doug, call us back tomorrow because we got to get off here. We'll talk to you tomorrow. Thank you, my brother. Sorry about that. Anyway, folks, I want to give my brother-in-law the last word from the studio.
Well, once again, thank you so much, Berto, for having me. I am very impressed and moved by what I heard here today and everything that your program is doing for people and seeing how well engaged the community is. So thank you. I admire what you guys are doing. And so thank you. It's great what you're doing.
I appreciate you, brother. Let me throw it to El Estudio with the two geniuses, El Señor Howard Reynolds and Jack Van Bibba.
Well, I don't have anything what Jack does.
All right, Medicare Advantage's $1,000 free health care benefit is a bribe to lead you in a bad health care decision that undermines the possibility of people getting single-payer health Medicare for all. Don't get hooked like a fish and put in the cooler of deceptive health care coverage, period. Hello, Arturo.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay, let me tell you this now, guys. I've got about a minute and a half to talk to you. And first of all, we're hoping that tomorrow we can go to full programming. We have a lot to talk about. And I know you will be here. I'll be here. Well, I hope I'll be here, of course. But again, please let the last day, if this becomes the last day, please end it on a positive note for Politics Done Right. We've done well the entire fund drive. Please help us close it out. Please go ahead and go to kpft.org, kpft.org, hit that donate button, select that whatever you want to give, $5 a month, $10 a month, coffee with Egberto for $250, our t-shirt for $100, or again, whatever you choose, even if it's a one-time donate, whatever you want. We need it to keep the station alive. Please do remember to go ahead and select Politics Done Right as the program you're supporting so that it will be accounted for appropriately. We absolutely cannot do this without you, but we have a lot of work to do. Remember, you've given it to the corporation with your cable bill. You've given it to the corporation with many of these other things that you do, many that you don't have to. I ask as kindly as I can, please consider doing it as well for KPFT 90.1 FM, a community radio station that you own, a community radio station that is serving you, and not only here in Houston, but as you can see from our great donors from around the country, people are listening in from all over. Look, I appreciate you. I love you. This name is Egberto Willies. This is Politics Done Right. And you guys know how I end this, baby. I am what? Out.
Support for this show, Politics Done Right, comes from politicsdoneright.com, publishers of How to Make America Utopia, Take Away the Economy from Those Who Rigged It. As I See It, Class Warfare, The Only Resort to Right-Wing Doom. It's Worth It, How to Talk to Your Right-Wing Relatives, Friends, and Neighbors, and other books written by Egberto, Willies.
Welcome to Politics Done Right. I am your host, Egberto Willies. This is a progressive program that will take the mystery out of politics. This is the program that will encourage you to make sure government becomes we the people. Whether you are liberal, progressive, conservative, or otherwise, you get to air your point of view. We are an independent media outlet that, unlike mainstream media beholden to corporations, we only owe allegiance to you. Remember, you can also send me a tweet at EGBERTOWILLIES. That is at Egberto Willies. Let us engage. It is Politics Done Right.
Support for this show, Politics Done Right, comes from politicsdoneright.com, publishers of How to Make America Utopia, Take Away the Economy from Those Who Rigged It. As I See It, Class Warfare, The Only Resort to Right-Wing Doom. It's Worth It, How to Talk to Your Right-Wing Relatives, Friends, and Neighbors, and other books written by Egberto, Willies.
Welcome to Politics Done Right. I am your host, Egberto Willies. This is a progressive program that will take the mystery out of politics. This is the program that will encourage you to make sure government becomes we the people. Whether you are liberal, progressive, conservative, or otherwise, you get to air your point of view. We are an independent media outlet that, unlike mainstream media beholden to corporations, we only owe allegiance to you. Remember, you can also send me a tweet at EGBERTOWILLIES. That is at Egberto Willies. Let us engage. It is Politics Done Right.
Support for this show, Politics Done Right, comes from politicsdoneright.com, publishers of How to Make America Utopia, Take Away the Economy from Those Who Rigged It. As I See It, Class Warfare, The Only Resort to Right-Wing Doom. It's Worth It, How to Talk to Your Right-Wing Relatives, Friends, and Neighbors, and other books written by Egberto, Willies.
Welcome to Politics Done Right. I am your host, Egberto Willies. This is a progressive program that will take the mystery out of politics. This is the program that will encourage you to make sure government